I just want to make sure that you'll be picked up tonight. We would be ashamed
Yeah.
to do a whole podcast and have no master's voice.
Would it be though?
I tend to think it would be. I try to, despite the fact that I overpower everything. I try to keep it balanced to a certain extent, somewhat. I really should listen back to the recording sometime. Make sure that's happening. Sass, is that happening? I don't think it is. So how are you, Mr. Masters?
I am good. I
Fantastic.
was tired about 3 hours ago, but now I'm not.
What happened in
So
the last 3 hours that you're not?
I ate.
Oh, well, that's helpful.
I had Chick-fil-A.
That's not bad either. What'd you get?
Spicy chicken sandwich.
Like a real professional. Now, was it the spicy chicken sandwich or the spicy chicken sandwich deluxe?
Spicy chicken sandwich with no pickles.
Just checking. Checking.
Yeah.
I'm checking your chicken.
Yep. So I've actually been ready for this podcast since 5:30 today
Hmm.
because my brain told me it started at 6.
We've only been doing this for like 8 months now.
You're telling me.
Are you gonna make it,
Like
Masters?
like it got to about 6:15 and I went, "Why hasn't he called me yet?" And then I went, "It doesn't start till 8, does it?"
Not start late. No. I mean, it could have been worse. You could have been waiting since 6 my time, and then you'd been just hanging around for like 3 hours, going, "Where'd he go?"
Yeah. It's been one of those weeks. It's been crazy.
Understand. I yeah, I really understand. It's too much going on this week.
Mhm.
Just real quick before I get myself in trouble here, the Muppets don't drop until next week, right?
Correct.
That's very good news.
Yeah, it doesn't drop until next week.
Okay. Because I was not prepared for it to be this week at all.
No, this week all we had was WandaVision. That was it.
Hmm. Like, practically, literally, that was it. This could be a short podcast.
No. I
Oh,
meant as far as shows.
oh. Because I was
Yeah.
thinking, like, we didn't have Tuesday, you didn't have Friday, we didn't have
Well, that's
Sunday.
also true.
Eskin group died. I do have to ask. I do have
Oh.
to ask. Did you do it on purpose?
Yes.
I
Yes, I did.
I thought you did.
Um, because Mumbles messaged me and said, make a mechanics check," and I didn't even question it. I just did.
So we were torpedoed by the DM, is what you're saying.
I can neither confirm nor deny these accusations at this time.
Except for the fact that you just exactly told us that we were
Hey,
torpedoed by the
hey,
DM.
hey! Don't poke holes in my defense here.
Oh.
No, he was mainly getting fed up with J Seed, and his inability to reply in any meaningful capacity.
Gotcha.
And then he got fed up with Foxy after the whole thing was over because Foxy was being Foxy.
Yes. Foxy wanted to know the answer to that question. No, I did not work this out with Foxy in advance to get him the answer to that question. But I can see
Uh,
how it might seem like it was. Or seem like I did. Hmm.
no, Monkey messaged me when he finally got around to reading it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Did you do this on purpose?" And I said, "Yes, because Mumbles told me to.
Mm-hmm.
I question nothing."
that's questionable decision making, but that's a whole other story. Um,
Well, I don't question nothing. I question nothing about his asking me to do that.
oh,
Better?
not really, no, but
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was very clearly going nowhere
fast.
through no fault of a lot of us, but just a few select people, and it just, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it needed to go.
And it is
I helped
gone.
facilitate that.
What do you care? You've got like 9 games going at this point.
I only have 5, 6 if you count the one I'm supposed to be doing. And I say supposed to be because Mumbles is freaking out over character decisions and said that he might just drop. And if he does, that kills the game
Why does that kill the game?
because then I won't have enough people.
How many people do you need?
At least 4. And
Okay.
I currently have 4. I did have 6. And then Brookbutt is super busy, so I kicked her out
Gotcha.
so that she didn't have to make the decision herself.
Okay.
And then uh, Ducky's friend that wanted to join has been very unresponsive in all attempts at communication. So I messaged her today, no, last night,
Mm-hmm.
and told her that she was no longer required.
Okay. That's gonna go over well.
I mean,
Just
she never responds to communication, so
I wasn't saying that's
presumably
gonna
I just never hear from her.
say I didn't care that was gonna go. I didn't say it was gonna go over well with her. That's gonna go over really well with the duck.
Oh no, Ducky fully understood.
Oh,
She was like, "Yeah, she's not responding to you, so
that's
I get it."
that's very unduck like of her.
Yeah, well, she's working on it.
Means she's working on becoming more duck like or less.
Um, she's coming around to understanding that I have my reasons
Ah.
and that they are typically decent reasons. She is finally coming around on my view of Foxy.
Hmm.
She was like, "Yeah, he's starting to show his true colors." I was like, "I've known his true colors for 2 years now."
Surprise.
So
Causing trouble everywhere you go, Masters.
I know it's the name of the game. Um, so do we want to start with WandaVision?
I mean, we technically started on other things for D&D campaign death, but that's a whole other story.
Okay.
I just want to say for those who are tuning in live to or tuning in not live, but if you're listening, go over to the Discord. I've posted up my weekend project. That is not my print in there, but it's what it's eventually going to look like. Kind of. I'm using different plastics, so it's going to be different colors, most part. But that's my weekend project. I'm printing a dark saber.
Nice.
Mine will not look like that.
I'm sure it won't
I mean,
because you refuse to paint.
well, not even so much that. It's just the person who did that knows what they're doing. I am guessing a lot, but it's coming together nicely. I've got three parts of it, or actually 6 parts of it print 3, 6, 5, somewhere in there, somewhere between 3 and 6 parts printed already. So it's coming along nicely.
Good.
That's my whole contribution for the week. Thank you, everybody. I'm out. Masters, go ahead.
Oh, this is going to be a short one for sure then.
WandaVision.
So WandaVision was another good episode. I'm really liking how it's going now. Uh, Lots and lots of questions answered, and more questions that need answering. Uh, so
I mean,
that's good.
we now know where the kids are.
What do you mean?
We're
Oh
all
yes. We now know that part was probably the darkest part of all of it. Was like on the outskirts of the town,
uh-huh.
just these people just barely living
Mm-hmm.
because Wanda doesn't have the capacity to
Control.
manipulate all of them to their fullest extent.
Right.
We found out what happens to Vision should he leave the hex.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
He gets
we
pulled
found
back a little
out,
bit at a time.
yeah, yeah. Um, we found out a little bit more about Pietro.
He's clearly not actually being controlled, which is weird.
Yeah, super weird.
But he's
Um,
like, for a guy who's not being controlled, he's totally fine with just
yes, he is. He is
doing what.
so fine. He's just like, yeah, you're doing great, sis. Just just like we did back in the lab.
So much for that great moment of human something or other when he took the bullets for Hawkeye.
Well, to be fair, he does look a little different.
I know, but like still, he's like, I had this great moment of character development where I've turned into a caring human being. And now screw all these people. Just screw them all. Don't care. Now, of course, the question is he now being played by somebody? So we've seen Vision. And I think it was in episode 3, where whichever one it was where we saw him like gaunt faced and like with a hole in his head. That one.
Yeah.
We saw him like that.
Yep.
Did she also dig up Pietro?
That's my other question. Yeah. So did she bring him back? Like, did she have that far of a reach that she dug into his grave and pulled him up? Or was that just a lapse in control where she remembered for a brief second what he really would look like? Um,
Yeah.
full of holes.
Or is that just a hallucination on her end? Where she's just like, oh,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
okay.
it just a hallucination, or is that what he looks like for real? And she's just covering it up with other things.
If that's what he looks like for real, he has aged as a dead body remarkably well in the last who knows how many years.
Well, he's also, looks different, so
Yeah, but I mean like,
it can be explained away. Wanted to just
but like
recast him and everything.
if he was just decomposing naturally, like jaw wouldn't be staying on all that well. He'd be like constantly readjusting and putting it back in. Um, or just holding it there with whatever muscles he may or may not actually still have. Just a weird thought. Let's get off of that.
Yeah, you're having a lot of those tonight.
I'm just going through the logistics of how like an actual living corpse would be going through this, and everyone's like, "Oh, zombies! No, zombies don't work." After about 6 months, zombies would no longer be an issue, unless they kept making fresh zombies, because decomposition is a thing. Unless there's something that preserves them.
Also, the kids have superpowers.
Apparently, they do.
I'm not exactly sure what Tommy's is.
Tommy seems like he is like Wanda version 2.
That was my well, that was actually like my third thought. My first thought was like telepathy, but then it was like no, because Vision's not really trying to reach out to him. Maybe it's empathy, empathy. But that doesn't really work. I was like, maybe it's a Wanda 2.0, but she doesn't really, hear the thoughts of other people. So maybe he's Professor Xavier.
That's a long way to go.
No, not specifically Professor Xavier. Just that his abilities.
Well, but there's that moment where he stops Billy and like just stops him cold with his mind powers. Like he's not just a telepath. He also has like telekinetic abilities or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Um yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting to see them explore. Um, Hold on, let me pull up my review here so that I can remember everything that I thought.
Yeah, he seems to have very similar powers to his mother. I mean, I guess it would make sense if like powers are hereditary. Um
Yeah.
and actually this would follow also the comics. I'm looking totally not looking up an article to bolster my knowledge of this at the moment. Um her
Yeah, this isn't Star Wars.
say her kids in the comics, their superhero names as Spider-Man so aptly put them, are Wiccan and Speed, and Speed is basically Quicksilver, and let's see, you
Wiccan, she's the Scarlet Witch, so
mm-hmm. also has some different capabilities in the comics. While his magical abilities stem from his genes rather than through training or some kind of artifact, just like Wanda. It's long been implied that Wiccan will become more powerful than Scarlet Witch ever could be. Wiccan can alter reality itself, which he often uses to give himself powers such as flight, lightning blasts, as well as force fields to protect himself and his allies. He can use his power to teleport as well. Additionally, Wiccan often has to vocalize many of his spells and what he's intended to do, as it means to focus his mind on what he wants to have happen. Even so, it's widely believed by magic users in the 616 universe that Wiccan will one day become an incredibly powerful sorcerer, perhaps even one day taking over Doctor Strange's job as the Sorcerer Supreme.
interesting.
Interesting. Apparently,
That's
that's not what they're doing. Um, they're in WandaVision. They have the same basic powers. Speed is he has the same abilities as Quicksilver, but he
Quicksilver.
also has the ability to let's see. All right, in vibrate the internal frequency of objects, accelerating their kinetic energy until they literally explode. He has not done that yet, but
Unless he did it with the pumpkins and we just couldn't see because he was moving so fast.
that could also be a thing. But I think Pietro was just having fun bashing the daylights out of pumpkins. He seemed very
Yeah.
enthusiastic while he was doing that.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see here. Do. Oh yeah, my very first thought was, why are we watching a Halloween episode in February? But then after thinking about it, they may have originally intended to release these last fall, and it would have fallen around around Halloween this year. But then COVID happened, and they had to push it back. That may have explained it, but
mm-hmm.
still. But I mean, by the time it ended, I was like, I don't care if this is a Halloween episode. This is awesome. Um, let's see here. Uh, yeah, we talked about how Pietro just doesn't give a crap about the people. He's just
No,
like, yeah, good job, sis. You're expanding your powers.
he seems to think that that was just a wonder. Like not even so much
Oh,
expanding her powers. He's just like, this is great.
so my other question about Pietro, when he mentioned Vision already being dead once before, what's the chances of him dying again?
Mm-hmm.
She threw him. Was
Yes,
that because he brought up that Vision has already died once before, or because he brought it up in front of the kids?
I think
It
he.
wasn't really made clear.
I think he. She did it just because he brought it. Okay, you are a brother. That was a snarky brother comment. The kind of thing that is like almost designed to get your sibling to smack you. She just happens to have a more power. Like he was intently like his intention was to incite violence against himself. Like that was his plan. So assuming that he has the most autonomy out of anybody in there because clearly he's aware of what's going on, he's okay with what's going on and is just like screw it.
Yeah.
Actually, it's weird though. The kids might have more autonomy than he does. It's trying to figure out It's kind of weird trying to figure out how much autonomy kids have in relation to their parents, particularly when one of them is apparently an all-powerful sorceress that's controlling the minds of hundreds of people at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently more all the time.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we also got a bigger nod towards Monica Rambeau becoming Captain Marvel,
Yes.
where they were talking about her DNA is literally morphing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think this is a very
let's,
cheap way to introduce that, but I can definitely see that that's what they're doing.
yeah,
Or they're setting her up to have altered DNA, and then they're going to later on down the line have some other inciting event be the thing. But yeah,
yeah.
I wish they were. It's like I wish you guys. I see what you're doing, but I wish you would put more effort into it.
Oh, and like, is next week just going to be? Oh, there's a circus in town. Let's go check out the circus. It's like,
Probably yes.
um, let's see here. Oh, with all those people in limbo and her expanding the hex,
Uh-huh.
is that just going to create a larger amount of people that are just in limbo? Or has her powers grown to where she can control more people now?
I think we're going to see a situation where she begins to lose control, and she expanded the reach of the hex to get vision. That's as far as she thought that through.
Yeah.
I think that because she now has more people that she has to be in control of, she's going to have a much more difficult time maintaining control. Which we're
Oh, yeah,
already on
absolutely.
that track, because here's the thing. What happens when Wanda sleeps?
Does Wanda sleep?
This is precisely kind of the question. Does Wanda sleep? Because if she doesn't, what happens when she does? And if she doesn't, there's a lot of very reliable studies that show us what happened to the human mind when it is deprived of sleep for more than, like a day. It
Mhm.
goes downhill really
But then
fast.
again, she's not really human anymore.
She is, to the extent that, like, she eats food, apparently does still sleep. Although apparently she's skipping through her sleep cycle with jump cuts. I mean,
Yes. That's my point.
it's like jump cut, jump cut, jump cut. Okay, we're not sleeping now. So I mean, if life could have an edit feature, that might be nice. But I don't think that works quite the same way. And we can see that because even in the moments where the show has a cut that is being broadcasted out from the hex, like, stuff still happens inside the hex. It's just not shown on screen.
Yeah.
Like when she shot Monica out the wall, and then the outside wall, and the other wall, and the other wall, then the wall, and then the field.
Yes, we have that.
Like that didn't happen in the show. It was cut.
Yeah.
So, but it still happened. So time still passes normally within the hex. It just seems as though and the thing is, as she if she is not sleeping, that might also be the thing that, like, really upends everything, and why she might be starting to lose more control, and like how Pietro just appears out of nowhere. Because in episode 4, 5, whatever it was, the last one, she's like, "That's not me. I didn't do that." And then surprise dead brother, no longer dead. If that is a symptom of her not sleeping, and she's starting to lose control,
or an influence from an outside source.
But who's the outside source?
Mephisto.
Why
Mephisto.
why Mephisto?
That's what all the theories currently are. Is that he is the one controlling everything.
But we've seen, to the best of my knowledge, which again is limited because comics are something I up until the MCU were something I
Oh,
was aware of,
and
but not.
apparently something with the commercial in this one, the really, really, really creepy commercial with the kid, turning into a skeleton while not being able to open up his yogurt.
Yeah.
Um, somehow specifically references Mephisto.
Okay, we're
I
gonna have to
saw
look
that
this
in an
up.
article.
WandaVision episode 6 commercial. There we are. Explained. Yes, please explain this to me. Explains what they've all been about from Den of Geek. Here we are. WandaVision Episode 6, all new Halloween Spooktacular, features the 5th commercial so far. It's easily the most alarming, while the other 4 commercials have had references to major Marvel characters and moments, especially in regard to Wanda Maximoff. They have always played it completely straight. Outside of maybe the actress's awkward waiting in the Stark Toastmate 2000 commercial, these have been almost interchangeable with actual commercials from those times. Not the commercial for Yo Magic, though. In stop motion animation, a little boy is marooned on a cartoonishly small island, moaning about his hunger. An extreme surfing shark pops in and talks about how he doesn't get hungry thanks to snacking on Yo Magic. He hands the yogurt to the kid, leaves, and normally we'd be left with a fine example of a commercial representing the early 2000s. Instead, the kid can't open the yogurt. He chatters in place, but he can't quite grab the tap and pull, like his body won't let him. 8 days pass as we see him struggle and gradually waste away until he's left as a skeleton. The box is shown again, and the shark narrates, Yo Magic, the snack for survivors. Pretty grim to put on a Disney Plus superhero show. Okay, much like the Lagos commercial, Civil War, yada yada. Trauma of others. I'm not seeing. Wait. I like this. Wanda appears to be playing The Sims with thousands of people, and these people are doomed due to neglect and lack of free will. Unless somebody does something, they too will waste away and die. Clearly, they played The Sims the same way I did.
Oh.
Here we go. The hidden trait, snack on Yo Magic, indicates that someone or something is feeding off of Wanda's deal here. Or perhaps she is channeling the mystical energy
I
of
misunderstood what I read.
Yes?
So this one from comicbook.com,
Mm-hmm.
WandaVision episode 6, Marvel fans question if Quicksilver is Mephisto.
Quicksilver's Mephisto.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a bit out there for me.
That's a bit out there.
That would be
like the Den of Geek, they say that the commercial indicates that someone or something is feeding off of Wanda's deal, or perhaps she is channeling the mystical energy of someone even stronger than herself to keep the Hex alive. If it's Mephisto or even Nightmare who's behind this, it's likely that they made a pact with Wanda. We shall have to wait and see what might have been promised in exchange for help with the resurrection of Vision and the manipulation of Westview. Yeah. Yeah. They're also saying that each of the commercials is a representative of an Infinity Zone. And that we're probably going to get one more commercial next episode, which will be for one for all 6. Toaster commercial, which resembles Vision's head. For the Mind Stone, the Watch commercials, the Time Stone, the Hydra soap takes from the form of a blue cube for the Tesseract. Space Stone, the paper towels are wiping up red liquid, which is the Reality Stone. And this kid reduced a skeleton and fated to spend the rest of time alone in the desolate land sounds very reminiscent of the Red Skull, who is cursed to spend his existence on the planet Vormir, guarding the Soul Stone. I guess. Oh. Of course, the joke. I suppose that makes him the Soul Survivor. Aha! 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 And then they're expecting some sort of Power Stone analogy for the next one. So I mean, that makes a lot of sense. That these are actually just representative of the Infinity Stones, which suggests that the Infinity Stones are not actually destroyed; that they're still available.
Yeah,
they're just in little tiny pieces spread across the galaxy.
Interesting. Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. See, this is the show that I was wanting from the beginning.
Just general weirdness. Okay. I'm I understand why they didn't show it, because the main character, they don't want to like give the plot away. I want to know what happened to Darcy.
Oh yes, 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 yes. I forgot it in my review, and I forgot it just now too. Yes, I want to know what happens to freaking Darcy. Yes, absolutely.
I feel cheated. Like, oh no, like she's the first one to go in.
Oh fudge!
And then
Are you kidding me?
just leave her tied up to the, hand. I mean, it could have been worse. They could have jumped in the Jeep and just like driven away with her still hanging on there by the handcuffs. That would have been a lot worse. Um, but well, yeah, what happened to Darcy? Is she? I would laugh so hard if, like, because she was in handcuffs, she ends up being like the town drunk or something like that, and like they cut in and she's in jail, just because.
Oh, I don't know. I guess we'll find out next week.
I mean, unless everyone is now a clown, and now she's the magician who has to like get herself out of handcuffs, because everything is, has some level of parallel. Like when they cut through the helicopter and becomes a hot air balloon.
Hot air balloon, yeah.
And I found it very symbolic that when they cuts through all of the like the tech people, they come out the other side as mimes.
Yeah.
So that they can't spread anything outside inside. Because if they're mimes, they shouldn't be talking.
Precisely.
That's not actually a joke. That I think that was intentional. Everything is intentional with.
I was about to say show. Everything is intentional.
I know, but it's like
this is a very intentional show. But yeah.
Did you hear that the guy playing Agent Wu is trying to get his own show?
No.
He's trying to get Marvel to spin off a show for him. Which Why? I'm on board. Why not? So, in conjunction with that, Marvel, or not so much Marvel, but Kevin Feige has gone on the record saying, I have no intention of releasing Black Widow or any other major film release, like full feature-length film, on Disney Plus for the MCU. Like, he is not doing that. So if pandemic continues and people still can't go to the theater, they're going to need some filler shows to keep people interested. Agent Wu is not bad. I think he's at least a comedic. And if they did like a team up buddy cop thing with him and Marcy, I think that could be kind of fun. Or not Marcy, Darcy. Wow. Is it Marcy? No,
it's Darcy.
Okay, thank you. I just have remembering names in real life too.
Me too. I'm terrible with names.
It's live. So you started and you're like, oh, I like this episode. I watched it and I'm like, I didn't like this episode. I'm to the point now where I want some resolution, and this is not that. This is escalation. Like Vision coming to an understanding of what's actually happening to the people in Westview. Escalation. Vision breaking out of Westview. Escalation. The Hex becoming a lot bigger. Escalation. Monica Rambeau and everybody getting kicked out. Escalation. Like acknowledging that all the people in there are definitely not there happily. Escalation. Like the entire episode is just escalation. And I just want some resolution at this point. 2020, 2021 so far have been exhausting enough. I just want life to be nice and simple. Can we get there, please?
Probably not.
You know, I can dream, can't I?
No,
Well, that's no fun.
not allowed.
I want to dream. I got a dream. I got a dream.
Okay then.
That one day romance will
Um,
reign supreme. And despite my extra toes and my goiter and my nose. Oh, sorry.
um,
Copyright infringement. Again.
yeah. So,
Yes. You sound like
I've
you've
been watching. Well, I was trying to think of other things to say. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. HK's dead.
HK is dead.
HK is dead.
How did HK is dead?
Dask killed him.
Dask killed him.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys haven't. So maybe I should have just let PvP happen on the bridge. Could have saved the whole thing.
So, uh, um, Raids was or Vree came under some drugs and started going crazy and loopy. And asked
Wait.
Raids
You got to back this up here because when I was still paying attention to that, Vree seemed like she was really not a fan of the whole using spice thing. Not even to get answers. She's like, we have it.
because
I don't.
she's
Yeah.
yes, because she was she's an addict.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did Ducky come up
Uh
with that, or did she have help?
yeah. Nope, she came up with that.
Wow, I'm impressed, Ducky.
Um and so she took some, went loopy, asked Raids if she loved Serena. Serena was intrigued by the question after she figured out what love was.
What is
And
love?
yeah,
Baby,
yeah,
don't hurt me.
done to
Oh.
death. Um, and Serena was like, I feel this towards Raids, and Raids, shrank into a singularity.
Like an actual
Um,
singularity?
no.
Oh, that
Um,
was about to get a lot more exciting.
and then
Random black hole opens up on the ship. She's gone.
yeah, and then finally Raids decides to open up to Serena and tell her how she really feels. Oh, by the way, we were broken out of jail per se. I mean, we were in a ship. We weren't really in a jail cell, but somebody came and took our mag boots off, and so we flew away. Um, then Raids came and confessed her love for Serena, and Serena rejected her. Um, and then Raids threw a fit and threatened to, well, not threatened to, but was basically challenging Serena to a fight to the death.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and HK picked up on the tension and went to defend Raids. Um, and then Dask tried to stop Raids by tackling her, and HK saw that as a threat towards Raids, and so started shooting at Dask. And then Dask took that personally and started attacking HK. Um, and then and the way it was going, I knew that if Raid or if Dask didn't stop attacking HK, then HK was going to die. And so
Uh-huh.
I came up with this beautiful ending for HK. And I messaged Jazz and I was like, I don't care what happens, finish me. It's like I will not be robbed of this thing that I just thought of. And so he did, much to the chagrin of Mumbles. Uh, and yeah, so HK's dead.
And now you have a new character in there, or are you out of that one too?
No, I have a new character. They haven't met him yet.
Okay. I did have to laugh when I was looking, just rolling through everything. Masters, Have you seen the movie Tropic Thunder?
No.
Okay. It's not really necessary. In it, Robert Downey Jr. plays a guy who's a method actor who becomes so method that he loses himself. His famous line from the film is, "I'm a dude playing another dude dressed up like another dude," kind of thing. And as I was going, I was like scrolling through everything on the Discord here for the Tabletop Mumbles, I noticed that your name is Zonos, Bala, Sarbok, Mandy, and Vax.
Yeah.
Masters is gone. Masters doesn't live here anymore.
That's because I don't have room. I have too many characters.
The characters have overtaken the person. Do we need to have a talk? Is this time for an intervention, Masters? Because apparently
no.
you've got 4 more out there that I don't even know about.
What do you mean?
Didn't you say you had nine games going?
No.
Oh, just 6?
I said 5.
Oh. Well,
I
no.
said 6, including... Okay, actually, so I've got the Sunday night game. Technically, there's a Monday night game, though I don't think it's ever going to revive. Then there's the Tuesday night game. Then there's the Friday night game. Then there's my Friday night game, but I'm the DM in that. And then there's the Star Wars play-by-post, the Vampire play-by-post, and soon to be the Mass Effect play-by-post.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 8.
Okay.
And Mumbles was talking about doing a high fantasy play-by-post as well. So
High fantasy. So basically just D&D 5e?
Well, I don't know what system he's wanting to use, but basically, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so my new character is a Chandra fan.
Chandra fan.
Basic Chandra fan. Yeah.
You like the short ones, don't you?
So, well, I was going for a specific set of attributes.
Gotcha.
And this one best fit. There were 4 that had the attributes I was looking for. One of them was like an inverted cockroach type thing. But it said that they were super greedy and it had a bunch of negative things about them that I didn't particularly enjoy. Then there was one that said that they mainly talk in plant idioms.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nope, that's too much work. Then there was another one who didn't... Was it? No, that was the other game. Oh, no. There was something wrong with the... Oh, no. It was like a pterodactyl thing, I think called a vox.
Yeah.
And there was something weird about it too that I didn't like. So I settled on this one. But yeah, he's including his ears, he's 3 feet tall.
So basically, if both your Olinda character and your last Heskin character before Heskin died, rip in pieces, Heskin, this would be the both of them.
The what now?
I posted it in the World's Worst podcast thread. I found a picture of basically both of your characters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's see here.
What?
This is actually the character.
Okay.
What's the picture I found? But yeah, you're not wrong. That's definitely Hopper and Bala.
So, what are you doing as Bala?
I am a saboteur.
Saboteur.
Yeah. So
that's
basically,
gonna go really well.
Basically, I hack data pads. Blow up ships. Fun stuff.
Yeah, the typical things.
Yeah, Star Wars stuff.
I can't ask that question without giving spoilers away for other things. Darn it. Are you going to be as antagonistic with this party as you were with the last one, or are you a more genteel sort of person?
No, he's more of um he's a real people person. They get depressed if they're lonely.
Okay.
So he'll be right in the middle of everything. Like annoyingly so. But his main drive is money. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. By the way, Charger, for those who aren't aware, Charger Fan are actually in the original series. So this is like this is big stuff right here. Playing a real canonized species for the first time, I think. Um,
Fun.
yeah. How does it make you feel?
I don't know. I haven't gotten to play him yet.
Oh, okay, that works too. How about so you're playing the last? What are describe your other games? Because I'm not even I don't even have access to those. I don't see them. I don't have anything because I'm already getting like 900 more updates per day for Olinda Corp that I'm really prepared to deal with.
Yeah. So in the vampire game, my first character is already dead.
Oh, oh
By
yeah.
this by my choice because I built her wrong, so I built a new character instead.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I think you mentioned that last time. It could be, but that's okay.
I may have. I don't remember. It's been a week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, literally and figuratively. Um, but so she was an old lady who didn't know how technology worked, and was super manipulative, but super stupid. So that didn't really work out that well. Um, so she got killed off, and so now I'm playing um, basically this really short tech whiz. I'm basically playing Penelope if she had a grungy side.
Penelope.
Yes, from Wreck It Ralph.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So she's super techie, very uh, fierce. Um, which right now she's under the effects of a vampire uh, voodoo, for lack of a better word, that is making her calm.
Mm-hmm.
And he rolled well enough where she will be calm for the next week.
Okay.
Um, and she's normally a very um, perky and in your face kind of person.
Okay.
Um, and very snarky. And right now she's just like, yeah, that's great. That's fine. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that then.
So basically, she's been turned
Uh,
into you normally.
exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. I'm just playing myself now. um, but yeah, so that's the vampire one. Then on the Mass Effect one, we haven't started yet because we're waiting on some people to finish their characters. But I originally made. I don't know. Have you ever played Mass Effect?
No.
Okay.
I've seen.
So,
I'm aware of some of the general lore about it, but I haven't ever interacted with it directly.
well, you know more than I do.
Okay.
But there's an alien species that apparently their skin is made of paper and their bones are made of glass because they're super fragile individuals. Um, but tall, lanky, super smart kind of individuals. So I had one of those, and he was a an engineer, techie person that uh, um, worked for the customs office and would under his mother's direction would sneak things past customs
Uh huh.
into the citadel kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
But then everybody else started making their characters, and they all wanted to be engineers. So I swapped out, and now I am a Krogan, which is basically like a really buff turtle without a shell, um, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I can post the picture I'm using.
I posted another picture when you started talking about one with like glass bones and paper skin. It just the first thing that came to mind. Which now I'm disappointed because that's not the character you're playing.
No, this is who I'm playing.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen those.
Um,
Right.
and he is a doctor.
Okay.
He's a field medic. He's actually part of the military, but he uh, became a field medic to because he when he gets hurt he gets stronger,
Mm-hmm.
but not all of his companions did, so he was having to patch them up while shooting other people. Um, or actually, in his case, he likes to bash people. He has a brawn of 5.
Not bad.
Um, but
Tough question.
he
Oh, go ahead.
yes.
Go. Actually, go finish describing your character, and then I'll ask the tough question, which has absolutely
Okay.
nothing to do with your character. Go ahead.
Okay. So he has a family, and Krogan have been genetically altered so that it is a 1 in 1,000 chance that they actually have offspring.
Okay.
And he was lucky enough to not only been born, but to also have a son.
Ah,
And so his entire thing is he would do anything to protect the life of his son.
feel feel that 1,000 change. Anyway, what's up? Go ahead. Huh?
Yeah, that was it.
Yep. Okay. Um, I was making a joke about likelihood of certain outcomes. Anyway,
Poor joke because I didn't get it.
yeah.
That might have not been the only reason it was a poor joke.
Why do you hurt me, Masters? I definitely feel hurt by that.
It's like, why does that sting? Ah!
You wound me with your truth. Oh, I should not have looked up Mr. Glass because now I want to watch Unbreakable again, and probably also actually see
I
Glass.
own that movie.
Unbreakable?
Yes.
I don't, but I love it. I should probably also actually watch Glass. The third one in the series. I heard it's not very good, but I don't care. I still want to see it because
Oh, we might be talking about 2 different movies.
oh, you're talking about the one from that Angelina Jolie directed.
Maybe.
I'm talking about the one
I
that
don't
M
know
Night.
who directed movies.
I'm the one talking about. I'm talking about the one that M Night Shyamalan directed with Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, where Sam Jackson plays Mr. Glass.
Yeah, we're definitely talking about 2 different movies.
Yeah, you're talking about like the World War II biopic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not that one.
Oh, and that one's called Unbroken.
Yeah, Unbreakable is just.
So
It is the first one is just like premier comic book fluff, but it's also like deep and dark and twisted, and it's beautiful. And this, I just posted a picture in the Discord, which is my favorite still from the entire thing, which is like Sam Jackson's face after he utters the last line. They called me Mr. Glass, and then he just has this bemused look on his face as he ponders all the thousands of people that he's killed, and I'm like, oh, it's so great. Sam Jackson's a treasure. I love him. Anyway, yeah. Forgot where I was going with that. Oh, question. Tough question. Don't know if you know the answer. Are you picking up perhaps that our GM, as it would be more appropriate because he's doing more than just DMing, he's GMing, that he has a preference for non D&D systems?
he likes exploring new systems.
Okay.
So not necessarily a preference for it, but he likes to keep it fresh, and he's always looking for a better system than the previous one.
Gotcha.
So he's more interested in exploring all of the options than he is just sticking to one thing.
Okay. Because Because I mean, from what I'm picking up, a lot of all of his play by posts are using some variation on the same Star Wars system.
All of them except for the vampire one. Yes,
That one uses like some sort of D10 system.
it uses a D10 system. Yeah, where it's basically the same, but there's a set difficulty based on what you're trying to do, and then you roll a number of D10s based on your stats. And then any of the dice that you roll at or over the difficulty is a success. Everything else is a miss or a failure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, tens are automatic successes. If you are specialized, tens are two successes. Failures or ones are critical failures, or yeah, a critical failure. And it cancels out a 10 if you have it, or it cancels out one success. Um, and if you have a one and no successes, it is what's called a botch, which is basically like a despair.
Okay. It kind of sounds a
But
little
yeah,
bit.
that's the system.
It kind of sounds a little bit like the cyberpunk system, which I'm not familiar with. But my roommate for a while was in a cyberpunk game, and he tried to get me to join it, and I'm like, yeah, it's on Tuesday nights, pal. I got another game I gotta be part. I'm part of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But from my experience, I have a preference because I understand it despite all of its complexities and weirdnesses. The D&D system seems to be the most straightforward.
D&D 5e is built from the ground up to be as simple to play and learn as possible.
And
It has a lot of facets to it, but the basic fundamentals are all the same.
right, it's like I want to do a thing. Okay, I know already the role I'm supposed to make.
Yeah.
I want to do this. Here's the role. Do this. Here's the role. And it's super simple. It's not like, well, let me figure out if it this and that and the other and difficulty, blah blah blah, and then okay, roll this instead. I'm like, okay. There's a lot more DM involvement with other systems, but I like the simplicity of 5e. Call me simple, biased, lazy. Probably that last one.
I'm right there with you.
I'm not. If high fantasy, whatever it ends up being, uses something not or uses 5e, I'll probably try and join that one. If it doesn't, I may reevaluate. Just not. I just don't have time to learn new systems, man. I just don't have time.
Too bad you're not available on Friday nights.
Yep, not available on Friday nights. And or Thursdays or Wednesdays. And they're really working on Tuesdays. I'm fighting for my Tuesdays. It's tough.
Yeah.
I still got most of my Sunday nights, so that campaign. Last one was just bad timing.
Yeah.
Everything took 3 times longer than it should. Act like normal.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I started watching Marvel's Runaways this week.
Oh.
I did not realize that it was already shot and over with. 3 seasons worth. Already canceled.
That is a show that I have just been reminded is a thing.
Yeah. Like I knew it was coming out, but I thought it was like coming out. I didn't realize that it was a thing that was already done and gone.
What is
this came out in 2017?
What?
Yeah,
service,
2017.
What service did that come out on? Was it just on television or?
Yeah, it was on TV. Oh no, it was on Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on Hulu.
Wasn't there like some other show where it was like Xavier's son.
I have no idea.
Television
But yeah,
shows.
so Marvel's Runaway is actually really good.
Oh man,
Though I'm just now getting into season 3 and I can really see why
they cancel it.
it got canceled. Yeah. Uh but yeah, I mean it's super cool to watch. Very gets very repetitive um towards the end. I've got like 7 episodes left and I'll be done with it.
So there's actually a ton of shows that are Marvel related that we haven't been seeing. Uh Cloak and Dagger on Hulu. Inhumans. Apparently that's on Disney.
Oh, Inhumans. That's the one I was no, that's not the one I was thinking.
It only had one season, and I heard the entire thing was terrible. Um, don't know. Runaways. Also, apparently that's on Disney Plus now too.
It is. That's what I'm watching it on.
Okay, so Inhumans is on Disney Plus. Runaways on Disney Plus. Legion is on Hulu. That's the one where it's Professor Xavier's son. Uh, The Gifted is on Hulu. I have no idea what that is. Um, Elstrom on Hulu came out last year. Never heard of it. How am I missing? Like, how did I miss these? I thought I was up on all the Marvel stuff.
No idea.
And apparently, Inhumans is tied into the MCU.
Well, probably not anymore.
Well, I mean, no, because it's a takeoff from uh uh Agents of Shield.
Oh, that's probably why it failed miserably because Agents of Shield became crap
I heard it.
after the whole Hydra incident.
I heard that it made a rebound in later seasons. I have not seen like the last 4 seasons because
Me either.
I've been told that I have
Yeah,
to. And
I watched like a season or two after the whole Hydra thing. Um, because they took my favorite character and made him Hydra, and
yeah.
then they went and killed him.
Mm-hmm. And then they brought him
Um,
back.
and then they brought him back, and I was just like, no, I'm done. I'm
Well,
out.
I watched until they killed him again, and that's the last thing I saw. Um, I might pick. No, I'll actually end up watching all the rest of it. That'll probably be my next thing after I finish watching the Marvel Netflix shows, because I only have one to go. I finished Punisher season 2 last week, which was solid. Obvious, like predictable, but solid. Um, but from what I'm understanding, Jessica Jones season 3 is like better than the first two, although I don't see how that's possible because the Purple Man is one of the greatest television villains I've ever seen. It's a shame they killed him in the first season. He had such potential.
Yeah, I may since it's on Disney Plus now, I may go back and watch Agents of Shield.
I'm just gonna pick up where I left off because I'm weird like that and I remember where I left off.
Yeah, I've tried to do that, but then I'll be like, okay, this is where I left off, and then it's like they'll do something. I'm like, what? When did that happen? And then I'll have to go back to that episode, and then I'll start watching parts of it. I'm like, oh yeah, now I remember this. It's
Yeah,
just a hassle. So let's just start over.
I don't have that problem. I have the opposite problem where I try to rewatch something. I'm like, man, I wish they would just hurry up and get to this part. Which I know is coming in 5 minutes, but come on. Yeah. It is. I scare myself with how much I
Oh,
remember
it's not on.
from.
It's not on Disney Plus.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, but not all the seasons are.
They're not.
I
It's
don't think so.
there's 7 seasons. This is saying that all 7 are on Netflix.
Oh,
I'm
then
actually
I am
surprised that it
corrected.
ran all the way until last year.
You're not wrong.
That is surprising to me. well done, Disney, I guess. Honestly, though, I think Agent Wu, if they play him right, could be the next phase's Phil Coulson. That's one of the reasons why I'm kind of on board for him to have his own show. I think he's cool. He seems like he's the out of placer, but he really wants to be there. Think of like so there's all these secret organizations. There's Shield and there's Hydra and Sword and all this kind of weirdness. And he seems like the guy who showed up to orientation day at one of those and didn't make the cut, and so he went to the FBI instead. And he's like, "Man, I just want to be a part of all this. Can someone please give me a ticket to the show?" And they're like, "No." I think it'd be great to have a show where he just like chases around all the fantastical happenings, and he's always like 5 minutes behind. That'd be hilarious to me. Just make it like just do a straight half-hour sitcom where he gets this thing and he's like runs there, gets as fast as he can, and he like shows up just in time to see Iron Man. I mean, Iron Man's dead now, so he sees who's left. He sees whatever hero was there, just like leaving. It's like
Falcon.
Oh, Falcon. Okay, yeah, he shows up for Falcon. And, it'll be.
He just comes in like just huffing and puffing. I'm here, guys. And then he looks up and Falcon's flying away with the bad guys.
No. If it's Falcon, he like shows up. Where's everybody go? And he hears behind him.
On your left.
On your left. Oh man, I would watch.
I still tout that as the stupidest line that everybody loves in, not that line specifically, but in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
when everybody's coming back, everybody floods in and surrounds Captain America, and then Captain America's like, "Avengers, assemble!" And it's just like, we're already here, dude.
Yeah, that was not the greatest line.
No, it was 100% fan service, and it worked because everybody clapped in my theater. Well, they clapped at everything, and worst theater experience ever.
So Michigan, we are non-reactive audiences. We're just sitting there like if someone starts clapping or cheering, we all turn and look at the guy like, sit down. Oh man. I don't know how. I don't know how
that happened, and I went, "They're already there, moron." On your left.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that one I think had extra weight to it actually, as opposed to being like Avengers assemble kind of thing. Because number one, he says it like in this growly type of voice, and like nobody more than 6 feet away from him heard it. And then, and then, so I think Sam's line actually had a lot more weight to it to be like on your left, to be like, "Hey, I'm here to help."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And no line in any of the Marvel films has as much weight, either the first or the last time it was said, than "I am Iron Man." Screw every other line.
Yes. Yes.
When I read like the articles that came out at the time about how close we came to not having that be the last thing Tony Stark said, it's just like, ooh, we dodged a bullet on that, because that started.
I am inevitable. Well, I am Iron Man. Snap. Yes. Absolutely.
It's how everything started. It's how everything finished. Like, they could have just ended it right there and said, "Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back starting brand new, fresh in 5 years. Hope you'll be there." And we'd be like, "Yes, I'll be there." I'm still kind of the opinion that they should have just done that. Not that I don't love Homecoming. Not that I don't think WandaVision's cool. Not that I don't think anything else coming down the line is going to be interesting either. But it's like, how can you top that? How are you planning to build upon that moment? Because everything we've seen so far is not living up to that hype.
No.
And I don't know how. I am not smart enough to figure out how to do that, and I don't particularly know if anybody else in Disney is either. I know Kevin Feige is porting himself to be. A lot of the other writers and directors, and they're good writers, good directors, and there's still a lot of good and all the good actors are still attached to it. Well, except for but I mean, like, and actually, there's rumors that now that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be coming back because nobody dies in comic books. Did you hear the rumor that he's going to play Thrawn in Ahsoka?
Robert Downey Jr.?
Well, yeah, there's a rumor that he's going to play Grand Admiral Thrawn in Ahsoka.
No, didn't hear that.
I think that's a great idea. Except I think he might be too sarcastic to play. Like, I like the idea that, like, I have a lot of, good vibrations about Robert Downey Jr., but I don't. So it's like in my mind it sounds good, but I think in practicality he might be miscast for that role. But it's an interesting thought. He's not doing anything else of any worth right now. I'm sorry. The people who will never hear my cynical downplaying commentary. There's a lot of big things moving in the background right now in regards to Marvel, but we aren't seeing any of it, and none of the stuff that we're hearing is either near on the horizon or poised to really build something big off of Endgame.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm still on board, guys, but you gotta give me something. And as interesting as WandaVision is, as much as we talk about it, because I mean, what else are we gonna do? I feel like it's still not quite. When I say not quite, I mean not remotely living up to that moment or that build up to that moment. It's like it's. Have you ever ridden on a train and the train stops, and then
Nope.
Okay, well, this is an experience I have. Apparently, you don't. Other people, you may have this as well. When you ride on a train and a train stops, it takes a lot to stop that train. Like Endgame stopped that train, and now it's starting to try and chug itself back up and get moving on the tracks again. But as much as it takes to stop a train, it takes 3 times that much to get it going again. Just because of the conservation of momentum and energy and all kind of stuff. It's like you need a lot to move a train forward. And they've hitched a whole bunch of cars onto this train and they're like, let's get this moving, guys. And it's just not really getting off the starting gate. Maybe Black Widow, when that eventually comes out, because Kevin Feige is not going to release it until like the theaters are back open. Maybe that'll do something, but for right now, I don't see a major push forward in our near horizon. You have a different perspective on that, or are you?
No, I'm just looking to see what else is coming.
Falcon Winter Soldier, and all the major films, but all the major films are on hold until Feige.
God, the one that pops up first is an article from October. No, give me something more recent. Google. Sheesh.
Right, Bing. Bad joke.
So Falcon Winter Soldier, it still just says 2021. Loki just says 2021. Yeah, and everything else is TBD or TBA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if this counts as Marvel, but the one about the superhero squirrel comes out next Friday.
I don't. If it was
That's just a movie, though.
if it was actually Squirrel Girl, maybe, but it's not. Yeah. Like Squirrel Girl is kind of a joke character who became dramatically overpowered because reasons. Like Squirrel Girl by herself took on Thanos, Galactus, and most of the other big bads in Marvel with no help and beat them by herself. Yeah.
Oh, Loki's coming out in May.
Okay.
Unrelated, but Doug Days comes out in fall.
Doug Days?
Yep.
What is
Did someone say squirrel? Doug Days is a new Pixar film slated for premiere fall 2021 and stars everyone's favorite talking dog, Doug from Up, as he and Carl Fredrickson adjust to life in suburbia following the events of the film. Doug Days isn't the only recent Pixar spinoff to land on the platform. Pixar Popcorn is currently releasing additional bite-sized shorts on Disney Plus. Blah blah blah. But yeah, so Doug Days.
so? Is it like a full film or is it a series of shorts?
No idea. It doesn't say. It says new Pixar film.
Yeah, like that word is concerning to me
Yeah.
because yeah, yeah, that's a bad phrase because that seems like they're gonna try and like Disney's planes this thing. um,
Disney's planes it or Cars to it.
yeah, one of those two, and I'm like, please don't do that to one of my favorite Pixar films.
uh,
Like, I understand that there's a cute dog that says squirrel. Like, why? Don't please don't do that. um, and the thing is, like most of the people who I could be like, hey, go watch this and tell me if it's good, I can't actually trust their opinion because they think everything is good. Um, yeah, I'm not. I that makes me very nervous because I mean Pixar is typically good, and I do like the Disney popcorn shorts. And I think if there was a series of shorts revolving around Doug, and it was precisely according to that description, that might be good. But if it's like we're gonna make a film about the dog that says squirrel, I feel like I've already seen that movie.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's only one way to find out.
Wait and see.
Yep,
That's my word. That's my least favorite thing to do.
I know.
Again, it's kind of like this whole episode 6 of WandaVision. I feel like we got nothing answered. Oh, I don't know who she is, but if she's involved with Earth and Ned, I think that's kind of cool. Um, uh, she's on Twitter. She's saying, "Watch Earth and Ned." That's all I know, which I think is awesome. Yeah,
And she's got an X-Men buckle.
she does.
She actually looks like the girl from um my goodness, what is that show? Dark Matter. A little bit. What's her name?
I never saw Dark Matter. Don't know.
No, the one in the picture.
Oh, her name?
Uh huh.
Morgana Ignis. Looks like she's a cosplayer. I don't know who she is. All I know is
Morgana Ignis is an American screen and stage actress best known for playing dark, eccentric, and visually transformative characters in comedy, science fiction, horror, and fantasy genres. She is often noted for her tall, slender, androgynous body type.
okay.
That's interesting to be known for, but okay.
I mean, same for Tilda Swinton. Move on with your day. Oh, she does like horror stuff. Okay.
But apparently she's in an episode of Earth to Ned.
I don't remember. Like, I
No, she hasn't.
she,
Oh, she's the voice of Ned. Wait, what?
not the voice of Ned.
Oh, she's not the voice of Ned. She must be one of the puppeteers.
That would make sense.
Because, yeah, she's listed as Ned in all of the episodes.
Okay.
Now, I know she's not the voice because we saw the voice in that short that you probably still haven't watched.
I have not watched it because to me, Ned is Ned and screw everything else.
Yeah, so she must be the one actually inside of Ned. Because she was the only one that I didn't get a real good look at. Interesting, though.
I don't know. Just randomly popped up. I'm like, oh, well, that makes. Gotta love Earth to Ned. Oh, man. That's actually really cool. I want one of these. Frame it. Put it in my room. Loads. Come on. There we go.
A Nettie.
Even just the card. I think that's great. I'm gonna feel really bad if she was like a guest on there and I just didn't notice. Because some of the people who are on there, like, I don't know who these folks are. And if I don't know, I don't really care so much. I just care like how they react to Ned. So because we it's like watching any kind of talk show for the guest. You don't know who the guest is. The guest is the most replaceable part. You watch it for the host. The host on Earth to Ned is fantastic. Everybody else can just like filter through, give him lines, feed him lines, let him react to something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Looks like we got a dull one on our hands.
Well, we just made him a short one. It's not necessarily dull. It's just there are other things to talk about, but they're not things that we can talk about without bringing in other ramifications. I would love to talk about certain hiring and firing practices. That's going to get us in trouble.
Hiring and firing practices?
How did you not hear about this?
Oh.
Oh.
I was more thinking about the other thing that happened today.
Oh, no, screw that.
Or rather, that didn't happen.
I so don't care about that. Which is weird. I care more about an entertainment thing as opposed to the thing actually happening in the government. But this one, the one that happened today, had a predetermined outcome. I don't care. Couldn't care less. It's all just theater and bad theater.
Absolutely.
Like nobody studied for their lines. It's like the the guy dressed as a tree keeps picking his nose. I mean, let's just move on from this one. It was a nice attempt.
Oh, he has leaves now. Oh, that's not a leaf.
Yeah. That was not good theater.
No.
But But yeah. Um Entertainment hiring and firing practices, I would like to have I have made a lot of commentary on that, but that's been on Twitter.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, I totally gave up the whole not political on Twitter thing. I can't do that to myself. It's actually now becoming a goal. I'm going to get myself banned off Twitter, and then no one will have to worry about it.
Oh, well.
I think I made a really good start this week.
At least for one user.
Have you been keeping track of that back and forth?
No, not
Oh,
no.
oh,
Anytime I see that you've posted something, I just scroll past it.
oh. Because they're a couple of people got on me about my stuff. Not people that actually follow me, but they were like, "Hey, why did you post this?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Oh, well, let's just get into this argument, shall we?" And I've been blocked a couple times this week. Great. And yeah, I shouldn't be having as much fun with it as I am, but now that I have a goal of getting banned off Twitter, this is now entertainment for me. I'm gonna have fun. I apologize to everyone who was. You could just. I mean, people can unfollow me. You don't have to follow me on Twitter. I just post random crap, and then once a week I say, "Hey, watch the World's Worst Podcast." Yeah. Yeah. I should.
Oh.
I have problems.
Yeah, you do.
But I enjoy my problems. I think
Somebody should.
Oh, I suppose I should. Masters. Let's have one cultural discussion here that has nothing to do with politics,
Okay.
or Disney, or hiring or firing practices, or anything like that. What is tomorrow, Masters?
Sunday.
It is Sunday, February
Anniversary of my parents.
which is also the generally celebrated holiday of.
Singles Awareness Day.
There we go. Yeah, everybody in my life right now, except you, thank God, is like, hey, why don't you have a Valentine? And I'm like, because screw you, that's why. Does it help that I'm not just this way with you, that I'm this way with everybody?
At least you're consistent.
Yeah, I believe that's the most important thing. So,
Consistency is the key to life.
I had 3 people at my work this week being like, you should set up an online dating profile. And I'm like, or I could not do that. Or I could set one up for you. And I'm like, or you could definitely not do that. Because that's going to go very poor. See, here's the thing.
So you know nothing about me.
And I'm like, well, they do, but they only know as much as they want
work
to.
Side.
Well, no,
yes,
they
exactly.
they know as much as they want to, and they think that's all there is. And it's like, no. They're like, well, why didn't your last relationship work? Well, we had some major disagreements on this, that, and the other. Well, is that really important? Yeah, kind of is. And when I say kind of, I mean a lot. More so than just about anything else. That's why things didn't work out. Oh, well, what about it? Like, you're not getting the picture here. Your mentality on this, although you are trying to be generous and thoughtful and caring and just want to make sure that everyone is as happy as you are or might be, you're misguided. Leave me alone. Please. Is that fair?
I don't know. I stopped listening.
That's fair. Do you still have those people in your life, Masters, who are like, you need to get yourself a girlfriend or a wife or something or whatever? Do you still have those people who are hounding you? Or has everyone given up?
I get the occasional, so when are you going to get out and start looking for a wife again?
Mm-hmm.
And I say never. And then my mother has stopped asking that and has started asking, are you ever going to have another wife? To which I said, probably not.
Okay.
It's like, unless she knocks on my door and forces herself into my life, probably not.
Strangely enough, I'm a planner. I discovered I'm a planner. I'm not a person who plans happily. I don't like to.
You're an INTJ. Of course, you're a planner.
Well, here's the thing. In my mind, I don't
That's
like
what the J
I
means.
know, but I don't like to plan. I really don't like to. But I just find that so much else works better when I do. I'm like, darn it. So, like, I have the plan in mind. Like, if I open up the door one day and there's a woman sitting there and she's like, I want to marry you, I have that plan worked out. How do I respond? Like, the number one thing that is never in a million years going to happen, I have a response for this one.
Oh,
Oh, man. There's planning and then there's going
yeah.
way too far. Oh.
You and Brokeputt have something in common.
We have a lot of things in common, but not the right things. um, that's a whole other story. Let's get off that. But yeah, so I'm not. There's. It feels like there's something I want to say here, but I don't know what it is. Something to the effect of like, I.
You got me.
There is a song cue for there, but I'm gonna let that one go because I don't want to jump into a Sonny and Cher song. Um, but
Don't worry, I thought it too.
apologies to everyone else who thought that and then had the visual. That's wrong. How dare you? You do not have my consent. um, yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, I did see that when you sent it to me. That was good. Diocles Dingo, the Muppet Born.
I just thought it was funny that we talked about it last week, and then I was scrolling through Reddit and saw that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, Masters. I know that you have your little your like side campaign you're gonna do, depending on whether or not Mumbles joins back in. If that doesn't end up happening, or if it or when it wraps up, we should talk about doing a Muppet campaign. I think that would be a lot of fun. Um, I might even be willing to DM that if I didn't want to play a Muppet so badly.
But if you're the DM, you get to play all the Muppets.
Yeah, that would be a bad thing. I should stick to one voice. um, yeah, yeah. Anything else, Masters, or are we wrapping it up here?
I was too busy to have a personal life this week.
That's fair. Um, yeah, I think I had like 3 hours that were not just jammed full of stuff, or double booked, or triple booked, or whatever. Except for Tuesday night. I was free on Tuesday night.
Yeah, just be free this Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's a lot more difficult. I'm working on it, but it's a lot more difficult. Goes off, has a kid, thinks he can just leave us all hanging out here. Stop being salty tomorrow.
No, you're not.
I've become the annoying neighbor too. So I'm here. I moved to my new apartment to help start a church. Part of starting a church means you get people to come to the church. And I've made a connection with my neighbor. And so, like, twice a week, I just, like, walk over to my neighbor's house, like, hey, how's it going? And he just invites me in. I'm like, this is great. Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, you're weird.
I know. I'm an introvert who's trying to do extroverted things, and it could not be more awkward if I tried. I'm totally out of my comfort zone. Anyway. Should we, let's try this again. Masters, let's wrap this up.
I don't have any Christmas paper.
Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. No, this is a bit of a shorter one this week, but we'll figure something out. Next week, there's enough planned next week. We should have something to talk about more than just WandaVision. Hopefully they answer some stupid questions because I'm going to have trouble sleeping. But that's a whole other story. Sitting there going, but what about the kids? Are they sleeping? Are they not? So we will see you all next time. Thank you all for watching. If you would be so kind, if you enjoyed what you liked, leave a comment down below, hit a like, subscribe, share it with your friends, your enemies, your random acquaintances, or just generally on the internet. That is how we grow. That is how we expand our audience. Eventually, we shall have absolutely no influence, even less than we have right now. And we should do that because more people will know about us and decide not to listen. And that is really the goal. So, hopefully you all have a great week. If you have a special someone, curse you. If you don't, hope you have a fantastic Singles Awareness Day tomorrow. And we will talk with you all the next time. Goodbye.
Bye.